I struggled with MailChimp and GoDaddy. There are these so many small roadblocks that come your way. Like I went mental trying to figure out MailChimp. GoDaddy and MailChimp drove me nuts. Hi guys, welcome back to the Meena Sial channel and I hope you guys are doing well. Today we are going to talk about something that's very close to my heart. It's about how I started Beauty Binge and essentially any tips that I can share with all of you on how you can start your small business. And of course, marking the occasion of Women's Day, I also thought it'd be great to also discuss what it is like for a female entrepreneur to start up something in the UAE. So let's get started. So I think in today's time, just about everybody has some idea, something that they aspire to do, and I guess a lot of people are finally chasing their passion, fueling their inner desire to be entrepreneurs, which is great. And I think what's even more helpful is to be in a country that supports entrepreneurs just as much. And I think the UAE is doing a pretty good job. I think in the last just couple of years alone, there's been a significant improvement in just the market dynamics with the different incubators that are coming up, funding opportunities, just getting yourself out there has become a little easier, I think, than it used to be. So I think talking about BB, I think I'd like to kind of talk to you a little bit about my journey from the very beginning, so the ideation all the way to execution, and what actually got us to finally launching Beauty Binge. Starting a business is I think we make it also a little complicated in our heads, where we put in so many different layers. From the very beginning, I spent so much time on figuring out what my logo needs to be. I think as quickly as the name Beauty Binge came into play with brainstorming and just trying to understand, I wanted to have a name that also has a meaning. And for me, like I've already spoken many times before, Beauty Binge was not just from a female-centric manner. Like even when I speak to my friends about it and get their feedback, a lot of the men would be like, a lot of the guys would be like, okay, so it's just females, right? All your products. But I think that's the notion that I hope to burst, which is that beauty is gender specific and it shouldn't be. We're all made beautiful, and I think that's why I kind of stuck to keeping beauty into the brand name. And then, like I again mentioned before, Binge was just something I felt was very it was quite true to the pop culture that we are in today, that we see around us. Everybody likes to indulge, everybody likes to binge. Netflix and chill, Netflix and binge. Binging has become such a prominent term in our culture that I thought it could the relatability would be far higher. So that's why the merge of Beauty Binge. And then of course that tagline was very important, because that instantly added a context to binging. So do what you do with a filter of responsibility. Your brand name is going to take you on forever and ever. You can still change your colors, you can still change the visuals, you can play around with the aesthetics, you can change your visual identity, but your name is the one thing that stays with you forever. And I think that bit is the bit that you probably want to spend some time in. But the logo is something that I spent too much time on. You guys will see that now. So I mean, as you can see, there's so many different options we were playing with, and I was just so obsessed with the font. I spent so much time trying to figure out what should be the font. Font is very important. So I really started working on BB in roughly November, December, but officially only by Jan, and we launched in June. So in like 6 months, we kind of, we went live with so many things. And I think having a date in mind is very important. My date was April. It moved to June because of the pandemic. But I was certain that I'm not going to push it beyond my birth date. I kept that as like a target, that whatever it is, I want to keep June as my final cutoff. So I think working backwards from these core timelines are really important. A, what's your business? What's its main purpose? I guess whatever your business idea is, as long as it can like organically cater to your target audience's lifestyle, and that you're not a force feed. Like nobody, I think, values a brand anymore that just pushes itself onto people. People like to engage, talk, feel like this brand is a friend, or this is a brand that I aspire to. The visual that the brand is painting is a lifestyle that I aspire to have in my near future. So I think that relatability factor is very, very important. The level of understanding that you have about your region, I think that market knowledge is very important. Just to kind of understand how do people, how do your target audience think. My marketing and my advertising background kind of drove me to the path where I worked on my detailed consumer journey, just to understand and identify my different target audience sets. I did that entire work because I felt it was very important. From identifying what my business was meant to do, to naming it, figuring out all the technicalities, be it like the branding, the logo, the templates, what are the color schemes. I think that's also really important. And today the best part is, platforms like Udemy and Coursera give you so much information. You can do like these quick few hours of classes, and they just kind of walk you through just the basics and kind of chart out a checklist for you, which I think is great. Which is why I think it's so damn incredible to launch a business in today's time, because there are so many platforms out there, podcasts, courses, YouTube. There's just, it's a massive space of content and information. You just need to tap the right resources for yourself. I think for me, one of the biggest challenges was getting my website done. I know there's so many platforms today, like on WordPress, on Shopify, that really enable, just about anyone to create a web store. But I think for me, I had a vision, and I was very certain that I didn't want my website to look like a typical template website. I really wanted to create that wow factor when anybody went there, and I wanted to give that feel that this does not look like a startup business. This looks like a proper professional e-commerce business. That's the vibe I wanted to give. And I went through like all sorts of like ups and downs, met crazy people who scammed me. Like I went through the entire drill, like the legit entrepreneurial stuff. I think website development has been the biggest area where I've been scammed, because people take advantage of the fact that you don't know the technical elements, right? And it is a pretty vast universe. When you want to get things done in a more custom fashion, you don't want to just use templates. So I think web development, and then you have your entire thing that you go through your checklist when it comes to anything to do with web. So you look at the domains available on GoDaddy. I initially wanted a much shorter name, and I obviously wanted beautybinge.com, but that domain is currently bought by somebody in Arizona who wants $5,000 for it. So obviously I had to add an adjective to my platform, which by the way is a little tricky, because today a lot of people think my business is called Clean Beauty Binge, which it's not, it's Beauty Binge. But you know what, I was launching a business all by myself. I did the best that I could from my understanding, what I think would have worked at that time. Are there things that changed today? 100%. But I think it's important to also make your mistakes, lose a little time, lose a little money. Only then will it be a lesson to remember. And by the way, this is not an ad. I'm not doing an ad for GoDaddy. I'm all for anybody else who recommends, like I think there's Blue Hosting or Blue Link or something like that. I just went with GoDaddy because of its name, the reviews. Though today I have been unhappy with GoDaddy. It can be very difficult. Like I struggled with MailChimp and GoDaddy. These are real struggles, right? Like people talk about, oh, like it's been so fulfilling, following my dream. But there are these so many small roadblocks that come your way. Like I went mental trying to figure out MailChimp. MailChimp, which is one of the biggest emailer marketing platforms in the world. GoDaddy and MailChimp drove me nuts. Today we are on all of these different social platforms. Of course, we started with IG, Facebook, active on TikTok, LinkedIn, and now Pinterest as well. So these are obviously like elements for you to figure out what's important for your business. Google Ads, very, very helpful, but also a very expensive affair. So I think we figured out that, you know, IG ads and Facebook ads would work better for us. Facebook does so many free like training sessions. Just get yourself acquainted with it, because I think setting the right metrics is really, really important. So I hope you guys are finding, you know, all of these different things that I'm sharing with you. I'm just being super transparent, you know, kind of just putting myself out there. And I think this was also the objective of, you know, starting a YouTube page, because as a brand, there are of course things that, you know, you want to follow, and there's like a set brand character that you're trying to abide by. But of course, YouTube kind of gives me that exposure to have real conversations and show my real side. But I think what has been the most incredible part of this entire journey over the past few months has been all the different elements that I have tried getting outside my comfort zone. Be it talking in front of the camera, to, you know, accepting myself with my personal and physical challenges, and yet coming every day and making sure that I don't let my business take a back seat. I think that's been a factor that I'm most grateful for, that I have something in my life that I look forward to so much, that all my other challenges, all my other insecurities, all my other emotions kind of don't supersede my drive, my passion for BB. We go through so many different like highs and lows when it comes to our responsibilities, the expectations around us. And I know a lot of you might be wondering that, is this even relevant in like 2021? But it is. Maybe not for you and me, but for a lot of other people. That it is for a lot of other female entrepreneurs who want to go out there but are restricted for whatever reason. And I think what we need to try and do is, I guess, support these female entrepreneurs in whatever way that you can. Start a business because you want to. Start a business in the right area, right space, because you understand it, not because somebody else is telling you that you should. I think, and ultimately count on your own gut feeling, because that's really important. Educate yourself on what you're getting into, and then kind of take it easy, enjoy the process. I hope you guys have found this video helpful. It was really great kind of just going back down memory lane and talking to you guys about my experiences. And if you did like it, please don't forget to like this video, comment down below and subscribe. Take care and have a great day. Bye.